Well, politicians with both the city of Memphis and Shelby County have liked to brag over recent elections that there has not been a property tax increase in quite some time, which is true. In fact, in the case of the county, it's been some 10 years, but it looks like we're going to possibly make up for some lost time here because looking at what's on the table right now, Memphis the city council is considering a 29-cent increase in the property tax rate. Shelby County government considering a 30-cent increase in the property tax rate. Chris Tudor, you know, I think everyone's for efficient government, and I know there's a lot of talk about where can we cut first before we talk about raising, and not many people think we're going to get 29 or 30 cents here, but clearly we're looking at a tax increase probably for both the city of Memphis and Shelby County.
Yeah, I think you got to separate these two taxes. I'm fully opposed to the city of Memphis tax increase. We already have the highest, if I'm not mistaken, the highest combined city and county tax rate. Maybe you've heard discussions of budget cuts. I really haven't. Look, there's a lot of great things to spend money on. There are, and I'm not diminishing the proposals, but the reality is that we already have an extremely high tax burden, and it affects everybody. It affects if you're a homeowner, it affects if you're a renter. I don't think this community is in a position to accept another tax increase. I think Shelby County is a little bit different because we're talking about the med, and there may be some funds that if we found money for the med, we could get hundreds of millions from the state or the federal government. That's not entirely clear to me, and I think we need more information. The public needs to be educated about that. But I see these things as two distinct issues very firmly against the city of Memphis tax increase. I think with Shelby County, maybe there's other ways to cut and raise revenue if we can get these matching funds for the med. I think I think the electorate would be much more receptive to that, but I'm frankly surprised at the size of these increases.
They're big. Everyone, I got 30 seconds for each of you, if you could. Your thoughts?
The irony of ironies is that the person who's pushing for the 29-cent tax increase, Martavius Jones, was also the leader of the effort to surrender the charter of Memphis City Schools. That threw this community into a tailspin economically, socially, politically, and otherwise. And now we're here at the table needing money, and we need a tax increase on the backs of the people who can least afford to pay it.
Otis.
I think Chris is absolutely right. The county can make a better case because we really need a new regional one. The argument for the increase in the city is just really not there. And a lot of these council members are going to say it's not there. This is an election year for a lot of them, and they're not going to do this.
Well, how much do you think we get? Do you think we get half of that?
I'm not sure that we'll get much of anything in the city. We may get either the wheel tax increase or a decent enough increase in the county to make it worthwhile. I don't see us getting much of anything in the city.
Okay, I got to leave it there. My thanks to the three panelists. Also, my thanks to Representative Pearson for being on the program, and my thanks to you at home as well. And we'll see you next week for ABC24 This Week.